Demarques Jackson. So you're fighting on the Titan FC 41 card. You're taking on Raush Manfreo, who actually has already previously been on Titan FC before. You're making debut of the promotion. It's not that far away. How did the deal happen with Titan FC? You're doing very well professionally. Is it just the fact they've been impressed with how well you performed? Is that just how this all came about?
Nah, I think I'm being brought in to get my head chopped off.
Oh, I don't know
I
about
think
that. Let's be honest. You know,
I think
you've
think
got.
just like every other fight I had,
I think you've got a very
and
solid record. I think you've done very well yourself professionally. I'm not sure about that.
yeah, I just feel like every fight I come in, I feel like they bring me in to get my head chopped off, and I do what I always do, and that's come out with a W.
You basically ruin the script. You rip the script up.
Yep, that's it. That's how it goes.
Well, okay,
Come in
that's.
and make it chaos.
Do you know the thing is though, coming in as an underdog is not always a bad thing. Let's be honest. I feel that maybe there's less pressure on you then if you're the underdog. You're a bit more free when you go in there. Whereas if that person's deemed as a favourite, there might be that pressure. It might get to them mentally. So okay, the deal came up with Titan FC. You said, yeah, I'll step in. I'll fight this Buster. First, let's talk about not the fight itself, but the fact that Titan FC is a great kind of platform for yourself then to showcase what you have to offer for the MMA world. In a sense of that it's on UFC Fight Pass, the amount of people who can watch it. Are you taking that into consideration and thinking, man, if I put on an absolutely great performance, not only will maybe Titan FC, keep me on as a poster boy potentially, but also on the worldwide scene, you might get new fans, etc.
Oh, exactly. Like this is, I see this as a chance of a lifetime. Like this is it. This is it for me. This is the proof that I belong on the bigger stage. You see a lot of guys from Titan. You see them going to like bigger organizations, Bellator, UFC, whatever it is. But
Yeah.
they that Titan has got a lot of talent. I mean, everyone there is really really talented. So if you pick up one of that Titan, that just proves that you belong on that stage. You're world class. So that's what I'm going to prove that I belong.
And looking at it though, it's not like it's your pro debut. You've had a few fights now. You've got yourself used to what's expected in the cage. I imagine then this is probably an ideal time to step up to that kind of a bigger stage, test yourself, see where you are in your professional career. If you go in there, put an absolute showcase on, you might, almost surpass your own expectations in a way, and you might say, right, okay, I am ready for this. I am more than capable. Okay, right now, let's push for a title. Let's go and beat the next guy up and get up those rankings and get a title shot, maybe.
I mean, yeah, I just want to go in and just fight good guys. Like I want to go in. He's a good guy. He's 7-1. Got
Yeah.
5 KOs on his record. Like that's a real good, real accomplishment in MMA. Just want to go in and just fight these good guys. And I actually signed a 4-fight deal with them. So hopefully I leave there 9-0.
Oh,
I don't leave
lovely.
there 9-0. Put it like that. So
Awesome
we'll see what the
stuff.
future holds.
Well, I was about to say, with I did notice his record with the KOs. Well, that as well, I think it maybe when you're fighting him, I think some fighters when they see that maybe as a challenge, thinking, okay, I reckon I can handle what he's going to bring. I reckon I can handle the shots. For me, when I see someone with a high record of knockouts, I think automatically my brain analyzes the fight straight away different. I think, right, well, obviously I don't want to be in whatever his is deemed his comfort zone for striking. If he's a guy who likes to pick you off at range, right, well, I don't want him to be able to stay away. I want to get in close. If he's a guy who likes to maybe get in and do the dirty boxing against finishes, right, well, I want to get away from that. But one thing that a lot of guys don't do, I think, when they see a KO guy is they don't wreck that guy's arms. And, clinch work, on the cage is a great way to tire someone's arms out, to take away a lot of that sting in the punches and kicks as well. Those heavy kicks that people throw at the heads when someone blocks them with their arms. It's not like the kick doesn't hurt. It really wrecks your
Oh
arms
yeah.
a bit. So that's something I always comes into my mind for fighters. How do you see him as an opponent? And for you, do you think, okay, I need to respect him? Obviously, he's knocked people out. Got to respect that. But how do
I
you
mean,
mentally approach it?
yeah. I mean, he got knockouts on his record. So yeah, I feel like I gotta respect that. At the same time, I'm gonna go out and work my game. I train
Mm.
with the best fighters in the world. I train with the best stand-up guys in the world here. Got the best stand-up coaches in the world. So I feel comfortable. Like I know how to strike. Like I don't, my record don't show, but like I know how to strike. Like it's nothing. It's nothing new to me. Like I know how to stand up and strike. I know how to defend myself. I know how to get takedowns. Like you said, I know how to clinch. I know how to do everything. I feel like I'm a well-rounded MMA fighter, and that's what I bring to the table.
Now, you're well-rounded. Yes, I was going to say your record. You know, you've got finishes. The thing that you have got though, you've had some free rounders, so that's invaluable. I think people don't realize when people start their MMA career, and if they just go in for the first, say, let's say like first 5 fights, and the first 5 fights they have, they all win the fights within, let's say, within no more than 2 minutes. There's not a lot they can take away from that if they go in and starch the guy, then maybe knock them out because you've not had that will to win where it's in the second round and you're starting to, that you're starting to get a bit tired and you've got to wait for that second win to come maybe, and that third round when it's maybe 1-1 and you got to see who wants it the most. I think some of those experiences are far more valuable than a quick finish.
Oh, definitely. Hey, I would love to, go out and get the quick finishes, but like exactly what you said, those 3-round fight, like the way you push yourself in those 3-round fights, like I just feel like I actually come out more prouder in my 3-round fights than I did the ones that I finished early with a submission. Like I just felt like I wanted it more. It pretty much tested me and showed how much heart I had, like not to give up, especially going into a third round when it's like tied, 1-1. Like that's when whoever wants more, that's who win right there, because both of you tired. Not about cardio now. It's whoever wants more, who's gonna push it the hardest.
Exactly.
So we're willing to just give it all they got to get the W.
And the other thing is,
like that's just always in my game plan.
It's 15 minutes of footage to analyze as well, so you can see how you handle in-fight moments, because let's be honest, in the gym there's certain things we do in the gym and we can do them without even thinking, without a blink of an eye we'll do it. If there's a sweep, there's a you when you throw a combination you step to the side, but when it comes to the fight sometimes you don't do the sweep right, you miss a step, or with the combination you go backwards, not on an angle. There's some things you don't do, and it's a great way to maybe see what you're missing out on in the fight game, what you maybe need to work on. 15 minutes of footage is a lot to take in and a lot to break down. It's really great in many many perspectives, of the game. I think that people need to realize that maybe if they're not doing, depending on how many amateur fights, I think if you have amateur fights, it's great because you accumulate those ring times. But especially in the pro game, those free rounds are invaluable. Going into those free rounds, what did you learn from them? Not obviously the mental side of things, but from a technical standpoint, maybe where you maybe felt that you need to work on. And also, how did you feel then with your conditioning side of things? Did you think, do you know what, I did do the right training for 3 5-minute rounds, or did you think I maybe didn't pace myself right? How did you mentally break it down?
Honestly, every 3-rounder I've been in, no matter how good a shape I think I'm in, I still feel like I hit a wall. Like in that second round, I always feel like I hit a wall. Like, man, I feel like I'm slowing down. I feel like I should. I always feel like I should be in better shape.
Yeah.
But I guess that's how it works. You're gonna get tired. So just knowing that you're gonna get tired, and you just gotta try to keep your technique while you're tired and keep pushing.
Yeah.
Try to get hit while you're tired. Keep your technique and just keep pushing.
Now
Pushing forward. Keep the pressure.
You said you're training with the best, coaches in the world, strikers, etc. Who are you training with? We need to know. We need to know, what is it? Is it boxing, Muay Thai?
I know everyone know Henry Hoof. He's one of the best Dutch kickboxers in the world.
He's all right. He's all right.
He's really good. One of the best in the world. His assistant Evans, he's also here. And at the same time, we got a lot of good strikers here. And you gotta think, we got Abel down here, Michael Johnson's here, Desmond. We got Robin Van Heusen. He's coming through. He's doing his fight camp down here. You got Gilbert, Sean. You got Andre. We got Vicente, Jason Jackson. We got like a lot of guys that's around here. Like a lot of guys that I can get a lot of good work in.
Hey, you got a couple of our British boys there. You've got Linton Vassell, Danny Roberts, and Corey T.
Live with Linton.
Oh, no way! You're kidding me, right?
Yeah.
Oh, no way.
Live with Linton. He's super cool, super funny. Yeah, we got Hot Chocolate, everybody already know Hot Chocolate. He's a nasty striker, also on the feet.
Yeah.
So like we got Corey Tate. He was here for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So we got a lot of good guys here on the feet. A lot of good guys I can learn from. A lot of good wrestlers here.
Yes.
We got Banks here. He's a good wrestler. Michael Johnson. He's another one. Kelly's going his camp now here. Chad Skelly, he's a good wrestler.
Oh,
You got
wicked, yeah.
Taiwan Claxton, All American, Tyler Ray, All American, a lot of good guys down here that and George G Jones, Ray Jones, he's a wrestling coach. So at the same time, him and Henry are also at a lot of times bringing in good guys. Henry bringing over guys from Dutch Amsterdam. They're coming over here and giving us that work. Really good kickboxers. Same thing going on with Ray Jones. He's bringing in wrestlers. Every now and then you see a good wrestler come in and you get to go live with them. So it's really, really good.
Oh, that's cool that they bring someone different in as well, because if they get some new faces, like a new, let's say, guest coach, let's put it that way, they will see, maybe, because if you've got the same coaches around you, they might get used to you all the time. If you get a fresh pair of eyes, they can maybe see stuff that maybe you're looking over by, not intentionally, but sometimes it just happens. It does happen. That is really awesome that they do that, man. I suppose when you've got all those killers around you, and you're kicking each other's ass every day, you're kind of bound to it. Yeah, exactly.
It is what it is.
You're bound to improve, though. That's the thing. If you're getting your ass handed to you in training, it prepares you in a great way. Because I remember when we had some young, I remember when I was starting out, and after a while we had these new young kids in, and they were like 16 years old. They looked like a branch with a head on it. There's nothing on them, and they're young and they're kids, and I'd be as gentle as I could, right? I am over 200 pounds, so I had to be as gentle as I could, as best I could, right? It's not easy to, but at the same time, I was kicking their ass for years, and now when I see the way they've matured and the way they're just growing like by 10 years mentally, and it's great to see the way they are now. When we roll now, it's I have to be on point, because those kids are just little animals, and that's what happens when you've got around these top level guys. Your standard shoots up a lot quicker than you would even probably realize yourself if you were to maybe be at a different gym that maybe didn't have the same level guys around.
Oh yeah. Like, I always thought about, like, let's say if I was at a small gym and you had a small gym and you made it to the UFC. Imagine going against, like, I always use Gilbert as an example because, like, his jiu-jitsu is on another level. So imagine the first time you seen a guy jiu-jitsu that good is when you fighting them. So just imagine how that fight would turn out for you. Just imagine that you never rode with a guy in your life this good, and now you're fighting this guy in the cage.
Yeah.
Like, so I feel like you need to know what to expect, because this is a dangerous sport we're in.
Yes.
Like, this is really dangerous what we're doing. So, like, I feel like you need to have the best guys just to know what to expect when you go out there. All right, I've seen this look before.
I love Marcelo Garcia, and I've watched countless bouts and bits that he's done, so I know the level that man is. He's one of them wizards and that's in the world, and I would love to just roll with him. Now I know that if that were to ever happen, it would just be a matter of, I wonder if I can survive 30 seconds. But it's like you say, it's one of them things where I had no chance of understanding what that level is, but if I ever got to roll with it, all of a sudden everyone else would seem not quite as good as I thought they were beforehand. If you roll with something like that, and it is a big difference, and I think it prepares you as well, because when you get in there and you're fighting your opponent, you got such a big confidence boost, because you think, man, I've just been training my ass off with X, Y, and Z. This dude ain't nothing on these guys. If I'm hanging with them, if I'm holding my own, this guy's in for a terrible fucking night. I'm basically gonna whoop his ass.
I mean, yeah, that's how the mindset you have to go in. Like I said, I'm here with these guys grinding, and I'm just getting no lie. I'm getting fucking destroyed a lot of days. Like, I have a good day there now and then, but most of the time, like, hey, I'm being humble every day down here. Every day you go in a humbling experience. So, like, just growing. Just trying to grow up to their level.
That's the thing, though. You've done the right thing and the smart move by going to somewhere like that, and because a lot of guys are happy to be that big fish in that tiny little pond, and always think they're the best there is, and they'll be in the gym and they'll always have one over on everyone. They'll never be man enough to go to the gym, like, for example, Blackzillians or any other gym for that respect, and just basically accept that they're not the best, but go in there to want to strive to be the best and learn from everyone. Be a sponge and also be a punch bag, but that's how you grow. It's how you're going to learn. It's the crazy thing is the only way you're going to learn is by getting a crap beat out of you, and you are very smart in that sense to do that, to want to grow, to develop and become a better fighter.
I mean, yeah, pretty much. Like when I first started off in Atlanta training, that's pretty much how I came up. I didn't know anything, so like everybody there that knew moves just used to just tear me up, beat me up.
Yeah.
And slowly I just started getting better.
Yeah.
You start getting better. You start learning, and you analyze like what they just did to you. And I sit here and I go home and I analyze it, and I think to myself, all right, next time they try that, I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try that.
Yeah.
So constantly, every day you're growing. You're growing your mind. You're growing your skill set because you're always thinking about how to beat these guys that you train with, before you don't get beat up in. Well, you pretty much you think about how can I survive in the gym, and at the same time they're just making you a world class fighter.
Yeah. It is.
All those guys are world class.
Yeah, exactly. That's beautiful to hear, man. And look, I've got a ton of respect for Blackzillians, ATT, Alliance, TriStar, all of the gyms. Not just every gym. There's a ton of gyms out there. But I'll be honest with you. I love the fact that I learn a little bit more every time when I talk to guys from Blackzillians about what they're doing. Because I'm talking to yourself. I want to get to know you, but then you spit that little bit of information about how they'll bring in the Dutch guys, they'll bring in the wrestlers and stuff like that. And I love the fact that that's a good way to be. A lot of gyms, again, like guys who like to be the big fish in little ponds. A lot of gyms, or the coach, for example, will be like, no, not bringing anyone in because I want everyone to think I'm the sensei, I'm the wizard, I'm the Gandalf. And they won't get new faces in, and that stifles and stagnates their fighters, really. And I think I applaud what they're doing at Blackzillians for doing that, because it's making you guys a hell of a lot better. And look, when you're training at that place, I think if people are going to overlook you and people are going to maybe write you off, I think they need to really listen to what we've just been talking about and reanalyze what they've just said, prior to that, and think maybe this is going to be a bit closer than we thought. And I certainly think it's going to be close before we even started anyway, because I've had a little dabble on the pair here. I like to look into both opponents and have a look at yours, but that's just my opinion. And I'm not even kissing ass when I get guys on. I literally, and also the other reason is, I'll be honest, Titan FC don't usually pick guys and let's say they don't pick guys and say, oh, we're going to get him to get his head knocked off. They usually put up pretty fair matchups. They're pretty good like that. They're not that bad, they're not like, the only time it's ever an unfair bout is when a guy gets injured last minute and someone steps in. That's not because it's unfair. That's only unfortunate circumstances. Let's put it that way.
Oh yeah, that's real unfortunate.
Yeah, and it happens.
Paid, so I definitely understand.
Exactly, and it happens.
I always feel like I have to go in my fights thinking like that. That's what motivates me. Yeah. So.
And I am
always something to prove.
Always. And Titan FC is going to be live on UFC Fight Pass, which I tune in for. I watch the fight cards. I am all over that when it happens, and I'm sure everyone else will be tuning in. But before I let you shoot off, how about we get your social networking bits out first? Let's get those out. How do people tune in and get to follow you, man?
Oh, you can follow me on Twitter at MadKingMMA155. Follow me on Instagram at Marquez, that's MARQUES _155, or Facebook at Demarques Jackson. You can follow me on all of those.
Get on, people. And what about sponsors? Have you got people helping you out? Any sponsors out there?
Well, I want to thank Glenn. Glenn's helped me out a lot, the management. I think management. I also really want to thank my coaches because, like, pretty much without my coaches right now, like, it was no way I would be down here. Henry Evan, Neil George, G Jones always looking out for me. I just want to really thank them for what they're doing, and I'm prepared, win for them because they do a lot for us. I mean, they do a lot for us. They put in a lot of time. A lot of people got to think about it. Let's say I go and fight, my fight's over with, and the coaches just move on to the next guy. They always in the gym year round coaching fighters. You got so many guys, so really appreciate what the coaches are doing down here.
They do. They have a lot of guys fighting all the time because they've got a stacked roster is what they've got. And look, I want to say, have a great time at Titan FC. have a fun fight. Enjoy yourself at the fight. Have a great weekend, because I know they look after the fighters, and I know when you get there, you realise that they really got it switched on. They're on the ball with what they're doing. I hope you have a great time in the lead up to the fight. Enjoy your fight camp. Try not to get your ass kicked too much. And look, honestly, thanks for your time, and have a great fight, man.
Oh, thank you. You have a great weekend.